You won't believe what just happened. A scandal is rocking the world of reality TV, and this one is personal, explosive, and far from over. At the center of it all, Jennifer Williams, the glamorous star of Basketball Wives, now tangled in a controversy that no one saw coming. What started as whispers behind the scenes has erupted into a full-blown media storm, with betrayal, secrets, and shocking receipts coming to light. Buckle up, because this is more than just reality TV drama. It's a scandal that's about to change everything you thought you knew about Jennifer Williams. When Jennifer Williams' husband, Christian Gold, was accused of running a full-blown Ponzi scheme, the entire reality TV world stopped in its tracks. Yes, you heard that right. 21 victims stepped forward, filing a lawsuit in Atlanta, claiming Christian scammed them out of their life savings. But this wasn't just a petty financial scandal. It was a calculated, multi-layered con. These people believed they were investing in something major, something life-changing. Instead, their money vanished into thin air. And here's where it gets darker. Christian allegedly used funds from new investors to pay off the old ones. The classic Ponzi move, fooling everyone into thinking everything was legit. But Christian Gold, or Christian Walden, as some records show, was no stranger to legal trouble. This wasn't his first run-in with shady dealings, but now, the stakes were higher. The lawsuit claims this may not be about 21 people. It could be as many as 150 victims across the country. Imagine putting your trust and your bank account into someone's hands, only to discover he was building a house of cards with your future. And if you think this scandal ends with financial loss, think again. This case is about betrayal, deception, and a tangled web of lies that could bring down everything Jennifer Williams thought she built. In addition to accusing Christian of fraud, the lawsuit contains serious charges of wire fraud, racketeering, and embezzlement under the Georgia RICO Act. If found guilty, this may result in significant jail time in addition to simply repaying the money. But the situation gets even stranger. Now, let me tell you how things got even. Jennifer Williams, his wife, was standing right there in the center of everything. Was she just an innocent wife caught in the storm, or did she know more than she let on? Messier, Christian had previously run afoul of the law. Last year, he broke his probation in the most surprising way possible. He was meant to remain in Georgia and notify his probation officer if he was leaving the state. But things took a surprising turn when he was discovered in Europe. Not. Christian was sent straight to jail because the authorities tracked him. But because of Jennifer's Instagram post, yes, his probation officer saw him in photos from Jennifer's social media accounts, living the good life abroad when he wasn't even supposed to leave Georgia. He was able to obtain special permission to leave the country for his wedding in Paris. Yes, you heard that right, a man accused of violating his probation and now facing fraud charges still got to have his dream wedding. Does that sound normal to you? Because to many people it didn't. The internet was ablaze with inquiries. How did Christian obtain authorization so quickly? People began looking into their past, and the more they discovered, the more suspicious things became. Some fans thought that Jennifer had nothing to do with his business and that she was just a wife supporting her husband. Jennifer pulling strings was their extravagant wedding, which was only a diversion from the real trouble that was waiting for him back home. Others weren't so sure though, because she had been by his side for all of this. Could she have known exactly what was happening, or was she just another victim of Christian deception? This story was far from ended, but this is the bit that left everyone stunned. It wasn't just a straightforward case of fraud. Christian Gold was accused of not only embezzling money, but also of creating an entire empire on false pretenses. The plaintiff said that he operated with the assurance of an experienced con artist, persuading people that he had unique investment opportunities that would transform their lives. He made extravagant claims, used ostentatious presentations, and even displayed fictitious success stories, lies to attract new investors. And the worst part is that many of these victims were individuals he knew personally, including friends, co-workers, and even acquaintances who had faith in him. Imagine discovering one day that someone you thought of as a friend had taken advantage of you. Of a grand scheme, that's exactly how these victims felt. But what makes this story different? It wasn't just the number of people affected, it was the amount of money involved. The lawsuit mentioned 116,086, but investigators believe that the real number could be much higher. Some sources even hinted that Christian could have taken millions from people all over the country. If that was true, then this wasn't just a scandal. It was a full-blown financial crime. And here's the craziest part. Christian acted like nothing was wrong. He continued living a lavish lifestyle, traveling with Jennifer, attending high-profile events, and even sharing their glamorous moments on social media. People started asking, how was he still walking free? How could someone accused of such serious crimes still live like a celebrity? Then just when everyone thought they had heard it all, another shocking detail came to light. Some of the victims claimed that when they started asking for their money back, Christian didn't just ignore them, he threatened them. Yes, instead of returning the money, he allegedly tried to intimidating anybody who asked him questions. If these accusations were accurate, it may result in even more severe criminal penalties. But this is where things get interesting. This altered everything. Then a new twist turned everything upside down. A mystery investor came forward and claimed to have proof that Christian had been running this scheme for much longer than anyone suspected. If this was true, it meant that Christian didn't just start this scam recently, he had been doing it for years. People were now wondering if this was a carefully planned scam or if Christian had been running from the law. Jennifer Williams had remained completely silent throughout all of this, making no statements, interviews, or statements. Some fans defended her, arguing that she had nothing to do with her husband's business and didn't deserve the backlash. Law, all this time using different names and moving to different places to avoid being caught. And if so, how deep did this go? This was not just a celebrity scandal. It was a case that could bring down an entire network of fraud. And at its core was Jennifer Williams, a woman who had made a living on reality TV drama, but was now dealing with a real-life storm that could destroy everything. Was she an innocent wife caught in the mess, or was she shielding secrets that could destroy her? But just when everyone thought the story couldn't get any wilder, Ed happened, and new hidden details about Christian's past began to surface. And let me tell you, this is where it gets really crazy. It turned out that this wasn't the first time Christian had been accused of shady business dealings before he even met Jennifer Williams. There had been rumors about his dubious business practices before he even met Jennifer Williams. Old friends began to voice their concerns about Christian's financial activities, saying that he had a tendency to switch between business schemes that promised large profits but never providing the most bizarre portion. Some claim that he had previously used false identities to continue his scams without being discovered. If these allegations were accurate, Christian wasn't just a man who made a poor financial choice. Rather, he was a serial fraudster who had been engaging in this risky activity for years. But this is where things start to get suspicious. Since Jennifer Williams had always presented herself as an intelligent, self-reliant woman, several fans began to wonder how someone with her level of economic acumen could have missed any warning signs. Others think she was actually ignorant of Christian's activities. Others weren't buying it. Might she have purposefully disregarded the warning signs? Or worse, was she somehow involved? The internet was ablaze with hypotheses, and Jennifer's silence only served to heighten suspicion. In a startling turn of events, one of Christian's old business colleagues came forward and disclosed even more details about his alleged misdeeds. People needed answers, and they wanted them quickly. Christian did more than deceive investors, use their money to finance his extravagant lifestyle, which included private jets, five-star vacations, designer clothes, and of course, extravagant gifts for Jennifer. If these accusations were true, it would mean that Jennifer's extravagant lifestyle may have been funded by stolen funds. And if that were the case, she might also face legal issues. The tension reached a breaking point when some of Christian's victims began to demand an investigation into Jennifer's finances. They wanted to know if any of their stolen money had found its way into Jennifer's bank accounts. If authorities chose to look more closely at Jennifer's financial records, things could get worse for the reality star. This is where destiny took an unexpected turn, because Jennifer finally spoke out after weeks of rumors. Jennifer issued a statement, but rather than providing clarification, it simply served to further muddle matters. She stated that she was equally as astonished as Christian and that she had nothing to do with his business. Everyone else. But the issue is this. People were more divided than ever at this point because of the revelation of the truth. Some thought Jennifer was innocent and just another victim in Christian's web of lies, while others were convinced that she knew more than she was letting on and was now attempting to distance herself before things got worse. However, Her statement left out important details, such as how she had been living a life of love and luxury while Christian was allegedly scamming people. The lavish wedding in Paris, the extravagant trips, and the expensive gifts. Why did Jennifer wait so long to speak up if she was really innocent? Then, just when everyone thought they had seen it all, a shocking revelation changed everything. This is where it gets really amazing, because the next revelation completely altered everyone's perception of this scandal. Just as Jennifer Williams was attempting to clear her name and disassociate herself from the charges against Christian. Let me tell you, this was the moment that left everyone speechless. According to the leaked court documents, these documents purport to show financial transactions that connected Jennifer to Christian's business dealings, raising serious questions about how much she actually knew. The worst part is that some of these transactions reportedly occurred prior to their wedding, meaning Jennifer may have been involved in or at least aware of Christian's financial dealings long before this scandal erupted. If that were the case, her claim that she had nothing to do with it began to sound extremely suspicious. But that's where it gets even worse. According to one of the Christian victims who came forward, Jennifer personally convinced them that Christian Investments was legitimate. Yes, you heard correctly, someone was now claiming that Jennifer assisted Christian rather than just supporting him. This is where it gets really interesting, because legal experts began to speculate that if these allegations held up in court, Jennifer Williams could be investigated for fraud. Imagine a reality TV star known for drama on TV, now facing real-life criminal charges. If this were true, Jennifer Williams was more than just a reality TV star involved in a scandal. She was possibly an accomplice. Online users were debating whether Jennifer was a victim or a villain. Some people thought that Christian had manipulated her, just like the investors, while others weren't so sure. They pointed out that Jennifer had lived a lavish lifestyle for years, with no obvious source of income other than reality TV. Could it be that she was aware of Christian's financial sources, but chose to ignore them? And just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, investigators began looking into Jennifer and Christian's Paris wedding. And let's just say that what they discovered was extremely suspicious. The public was split at this point. Some still thought Jennifer was just another victim, a woman who had unwittingly married the wrong man and was now dealing with the consequences, while others thought this was bigger than just Christian and that Jennifer might have been involved much more than she was admitting. They wanted answers, and just when it seemed like Jennifer had nothing left to hide, something completely unexpected happened that no one saw coming. It was alleged that some of the wedding expenses were paid for with the same investor money that Christian had stolen. If this were true, then Jennifer wasn't just enjoying Christian's wealth, she was literally celebrating her marriage with money that rightfully belonged to his victims.